While you dream of being a princess, what do you consider? Tiaras, lavish balls, and fairy tale palaces. That is exactly how Meghan Markle imagined lifestyles in the royal family. But what if your dream abruptly turns into day by day chores, strict protocol, and bloodless matinees? Nowadays, we're going to tell you why Meghan, naively hoping for a fairy tale, ended up in a completely one of a kind tale. Live tune to the end, and you'll discover how her desires have been shattered and what it matter for her marriage to Prince Harry. In marrying Harry, Meghan became going to be a Disney princess, now not a royal princess. Even though younger turned into not younger, and marrying a prince no longer on the age of Diana. What become happening in her head in one phrase? Hollywood. A complete damage from fact, even though the bride become a skilled woman who had been in an authentic marriage. Meghan imagined that she could grow to be a princess, no longer royal. However, Hollywood Disney. This became instructed by means of an expert. After the wedding without delay fairy tale, fortunately ever after. She hoped that married life with Prince Harry could be just like the life of a Disney princess from a cartoon. But with fantastic wonder, she realized that the first component she would ought to analyze within the royal family become to obey. For this, our princess changed into now not equipped. Royal author Mark Borkowski writes that Meghan anticipated 24/7 access to tiaras, like Princess Margaret, who even bathed in a tiara. Meghan, too, desired her existence to be a steady ball. Do you watch Meghan turned into sensible in her expectancies of royal life? Or did she agree with an excessive amount of in fairy stories? After which all of a sudden there are a few duties, looking ahead to the princess at the opening of yet every other venue people. In any sort of climate. On a cold, wet Saturday afternoon in Kettering, there can be an opening of a community center. It seems that being a princess is not about balls and tiaras. It's an everyday activity. And if it would not sense love it, it is an activity. And I suppose that turned into the first thing that fell apart. What definitely fell aside become the picture of the world young dreamers are all women, on the whole, till the age of 16. Then their eyes open and the method of getting to know about existence begins. The speed of this method depends on the archetype. A woman, sage archetype from the very first grade, already explains to her classmates difficult to recognize matters. If she were Meghan, this woman would ask, who and on what phrases will pay for all these balls and tiaras? Because they may no longer fall for your head. However, there are few sensible men. This archetype consists of the girlfriend, Meghan Oprah, who has really been averting touch with the Duchess these days. The reason is Meghan's archetype. Oprah has nothing to speak approximately because Meghan thinks in completely special terms. In her head, like a kaleidoscope, she has photographs which might be more beautiful than every other. And on every of them she is sporting a tiara, and her subjects are curtsying. There are no photographs of labor in her head. Human beings with such Hollywood questioning belong to the archetype simple-minded. There are many greater of them than smart men, many even on our channel. You may understand them from the feedback. Oprah's sage interview with easy-minded Meghan. Already at the palace, Meghan stored watching Disney cartoons about the Little Mermaid. She has compared herself to the Disney Little Mermaid, who married a prince and misplaced her voice. She instructed Oprah that when looking the caricature, an epiphany got here over her, and she or he drew parallels to her own lifestyles, as she sat in Nottingham Cottage looking the Little Mermaid. Should Meghan have prepared for royal responsibilities higher given her revel in Hollywood and her previous marriage? She stated, which adult honestly watches The Little Mermaid? However well it started out, I notion properly. I'm right here all of the time, so I guess I'll watch that too. And that idea, oh my God, she's falling in love with the prince and she or he's going to must lose her voice because of that. But ultimately her voice comes again to her. Winfrey replies, and that is what took place here. You sent your voice coming back to you. What do you believe you studied? Did Meghan have sufficient facts about what is in keep for her in royal life? Leave your mind inside the remarks. Within the meantime, bear in mind to join the channel if you're inquisitive about subjects like this. If you are one of those adults who do not watch children's fairy memories, allow me to remind you of the plot. Ariel the mermaid meets a human prince and falls in love. However, she cannot live on land, and to be with him, she makes the address the sea witch Ursula. She offers up her voice and lifestyles within the sea in change for simply 3 days in human form. Ultimately, the ocean witch is defeated. Ariel regains her voice and is forever transformed right into a human to stay luckily ever after together with her prince. Meghan imagined herself as the Little Mermaid and he or she, and Harry requested to live at Windsor Fortress right after the marriage. As Shetakova, both wings are empty, and they were very surprised when the Queen stated no. About this, too, the Disney princess told in an interview. So if the royal circle of relatives desired to region their stricken child in the care of a shrewd person lady, the plan failed. Auntie began playing princess. They even recorded a podcast with Prince Harry on the concern. He has compared the life of a fairy tale royal to the actual thing. Harry changed into asked approximately what it's want to live in a real royal family and the way it compares to the portrayals of princes and princesses in films. My wife gave the maximum splendid rationalization. You don't must be a princess. You could create a life it is better than any princess. And that comes from her personal existence revel in. We met, and she stated, "Wow, this is absolutely exclusive to what my friends have been pronouncing at the beginning." Harry used to observe Disney movies whilst he turned in young, to which presenter Dax Shepard responded that it should were bizarre for him, because he in reality changed into royalty. And that royalty doesn't have the query in his head, who's going to pay for his royal existence? And for the only he intends to create. Two storytellers met. Ultimately, it looks like their tale has come to an end earlier than his 40th birthday. The human prince that the Little Mermaid fell in love with made an assertion wherein he pointed out his kids and his task, however didn't say a phrase about his Little Mermaid. In step with royal professional Hugo Vickers, this silence about his wife is one indicator of issues in the marriage. The second one indicator relates to commercial enterprise. The Dukes can't preserve personnel. That is a hallmark that they keep to live in their fairy tale global and feature a poor hold close of the actual global. Is the life of royalty without a doubt a fairy story, or is it an awful lot greater complex than that? Write your opinion in the feedback. I am amazed he did not mention his spouse, as he has a habit of doing so. So I'm able to see how that makes us expect things are not so rosy and that appreciate. This birthday can be a time for him to look lower back and ahead. I'm hoping that in a few manner he'll stop and reflect on consideration on the things he has stated and finished that have executed plenty of damage to his courting with his circle of relatives and isolated him. The fairy tale prince and his Little Mermaid are having a completely hard time on this extraordinarily commercial and absolutely extraordinary international than the one Duke grew up in. I have a sense it's no longer going to cease well with Prince Harry. I cannot say how with Meghan Markle. She may have her own unbiased plans. We are speaking approximately them because we know Harry is a prince. Meghan has achieved plenty of things earlier then, but not anything compares to the authority she has gained with the aid of marrying Prince Harry. She needs him now. However, there may also come a factor wherein she feels she will be able to burst off on her own and create her personal identification and might give up on him. I hate to say it. However, that opportunity is constantly there. Create your very own identity to a mom of 2 at 43. Are you able to name the archetype of Hugo Vickers himself that came via on this remark? In case you want to analyze greater approximately the mysteries and surprising twists and turns of the royals' lives, subscribe to our channel, supply this video a like, and be sure to proportion your opinion in the feedback. Do you observe Meghan's dream of a fairy tale existence can nevertheless come real? Write to us.